Hello and welcome back to my class. Now we continue with chapter number 10. We talk about the little propositional logic or the Venn diagram. Now let's see what we have learned so far. We have focused on conjunctions. And do you still remember what conjunction means? What we do with conjunctions? How we do it in order to identify and testify the validity of deductive arguments? You can see here, this is the value of conjunctions. Remember, conjunction is true if and only if both of the simple claims are true, right? Then you have P, Q, P and Q, remember? Then we have two variables, then we have four lines. For P, we write true, true, false, false, and for Q, we write true, false, true, false. But remember, the theory is that when the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. Then we just analyze the case when all the premises are true. Then we see only the first line, P is true, and Q is true. Then all the premises are true. This is the only case, and the conclusion is also true. Then this is the valid argument, right? Okay, now let's move on to issue number 2. We go to negations. Do you see some relationship between the word negations and what you often have with negative, right? Now negations, you're right, that's negative. A negation denies a statement and it has the opposite truth value. Let's have a look at this. Tina is torn. Then the negative statement or the negative form is Tina is not torn, right? Then if we assign P for Tina is torn, then Tina is not torn. It's going to be like this, not P. Now if P has two values, true and false, then not P, we also have two values, that's false and true, because it's the opposite, right? Then remember, you are going to have this symbol for negation, and you pronounce as not, not P. Remember, in critical thinking in the exam, we just symbolize the positive statements. For example, we assign a letter for the positive statement, and negative statements is just the negation. Don't assign something like Tina is torn P, Tina is not torn Q. We can never do it, right? We just assign a letter for positive statements. The negative statements, in fact, they are negations. You got it? Okay. Now, let's have the truth table for this claim. Tina is torn and Sarah is not torn. Then if Tina is torn, we say P, Sarah is torn, that is Q. This is the combination of conjunction and negation. Then it's going to be P and not Q. Now have a look at this. In order to have the value for P and not Q, this conjunction, we need the value of P. That's very easy. P, true, true, false, false. To have not Q, we must have Q, right? Then Q, true, false, true, false. Then the negation is going to be false, true, false, true. Looks easy, right? Now we have here P and not Q. The value, then I just have a new table for you to see, and I just show two columns, one for P, one for not Q. Now you can see a conjunction is true if and only if both of the claims are true. In this case, you can see on line number 2, true, true, it's going to be true here, and the other one's false. Are you still with me? Okay? Now, let's have a look at this. Tina is not torn, but Sarah is torn. So Tina is not torn. Sounds a little bit confusing. Now let's see whether it's valid or not. When you keep thinking, you read and you think, yeah, maybe we're going to get confused. Now we don't, it is not necessary to get confused. We can just look at the evidence to be very clear. Now let's see. Tina is tall is P. Now Tina is not tall, it's gonna be not P and Q. And the conclusion is not P. What do you think? Valid? Okay, now we have here the table. Yeah, remember in the exam, you need to have, we need to show a table with all of the necessary columns. Yeah, in the exam, when we miss a column, for example, you just choose the option A, B, C, D, and option C, we miss a column of one value. That's considered not the best answer. And be very careful. Okay, now we have here P, Q, and not P. Now we need the conjunction not P and Q, right? Look at line number 3, conjunction, true when both of the claims are true. Then we have false, false, true, false. Now I make another table for you to analyze. We have, the premise on the left and the conclusion on the right. Not P and Q, and then not P. Valid or invalid? What do you think? Valid or invalid? We have just one premise. There is just one single case where the premise is true and the conclusion is also true. Valid. Right? When the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. We just consider the cases when the premise is true. We have just one premise here, and there's just one case when the premise is true. Okay. Now let's go to this. Frank does not drive a truck. So Frank does not drive a truck, and Vinny does not drive a minivan. Frank drives a truck. Positive. Now it should be not P here because he does not drive a truck. Frank, not P. Vinny drives a minivan, Q. Then it should be not Q. Not P, and not Q. What do you think? Based on your logic, is it valid or not? Now let's set up the table. We have, Q, P, Q, not P, and not Q, right? And then we have here, from not P and not Q, we have not P and not Q. That's the conjunction. False, false, false. True, false, false. Then we have false, 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 true. I hope it's clear to you right now, right? Now let's set up the last table. Then we have the premise on the left and the conclusion on the right. Okay. Now you decide, valid or invalid. When the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. How many cases are there here when the premise is true? How many? When you say 2, then you're right there. We have 2 cases, right? At one case, the premise is true, the conclusion is also true. Good. But on the other case, the premise is true, the conclusion is false. It goes against the definition of deductive argument. Invalid. Then does it sound like in the thesis, you do the survey and you find out the statistics, the information, you give the conclusion, but when you are very happy, you also give other conclusions. You conclude the other things as well. Right? You do the survey for the students at international university. And then you give the conclusion for the students at international university. You are very excited. You also give the conclusion for the people at RMIT. Sounds logical right at the beginning. It may be right, but the chance is there, you're still wrong. Right? That is invalid. Now, let's go to the special case. This is important. Now, Lisa does not drive a trip, easy. Lisa does not drive a trip, and Jennifer does not drive a jeep, easy. Now we have here, it is not the case. What does it mean when we have, it is not the case. It is not the case. It means there won't happen the case that both A and B do something. Or there won't happen the case that both A and B don't do something. Then how can we have the symbol for it is not the case? Have a look at this. We come back. Lisa drives a jeep. P. Now negative, negation, not P. Jennifer drives a jeep. Jennifer. So Lisa is going to be not P and not Q. Right? What about it is not the case? It is not the case. We are going to have here negation. We say not the case. And we have brackets. P and Q. But you have to be very careful. In this case, we say not the case, P and Q. Not the case, P and Q. We don't say not P and Q. Because if you say not P and Q, we're going to write differently. We don't have the brackets. Now we have the brackets, we say not the case, P and Q. And also the values are different as well. Now let's analyze this. In order to have not P, in order to have not the case P and Q, we need to have the conjunction P and Q, right? In order to have the conjunction not P and not Q, we need to have the value not P first, and we have the value not Q. Then we have a conjunction of those two, we say not P and not Q, right? Okay, now, so P, Q, P and Q, true, false, false, false. Negation is going to be false, true, true, true. Okay, so you get that? Now let's go to the, then you can see, this is the special case. Now we are going to analyze this. It is not the case that Tina is tall and Sarah is tall. So Tina is not tall and Sarah is not tall. It's a headache now. Now, not the case P and Q. Not P and not Q. You can see, sounds simple, but we need a few steps in order to get these two values. We need P, Q, not P, not Q. True, true, false, false, and not P, false, false, true, true. Q, true, false, true, false, not Q, it's going to be false, true, false, true. Okay, we need the conjunction P and Q. Then we have not the case P and Q. We need the conjunction of not P and not Q, getting from the values of column not P and column not Q. Now we have the last table. In the last table, I just show the premise on the left and the conclusion on the right. Okay, what do you think? Valid or invalid? Yeah, when you say invalid, I would love to see that. Then you can see we have 3 cases where the premise is true, but in just one case, the premise is true and the conclusion is untrue. We have 2 other cases where the premise is true, but the conclusion in fact is false. Then it's like we have 100%, 33% it is okay. The other percentage, not okay. Now let's go very quickly over this. Yeah, just for the values. Yeah. Now consider A, B, C true, X, Y, Z false. You don't care what they stand for, right? Now not A and B. A true, not A, it means false. Then false and true, false. X, Y, they are false. X, not X, true. Not Y, true. True and true, true. Super easy, right? This is another exercise for kids, not for adults, not for university students. Now, X and Y, it means true, false and false. That's false. Not the case, not false, true. Yeah. So not the case A and B, false. Not Z and not C, false. C and not Z, true. Not the case C and not Z, false. Y and X. Not the case Y and X. Not X and not Z, true. Easy now, right? Now you put these statements in a symbolic form. The bus was on time, but the train was not. It means was not on time. Yeah. P and not Q. Right? The bus was not on time and the train was not on time. Not P and not Q. We have negative statements. It is not the case. The bus and the train were on time. So not the case P and Q. Lemons are not sweet, but sugar is. Negation in the first? Not P and Q. It is not the case that lemons and sugar are sweet. Lemons and sugar, not the case P and Q. Her friends don't care, and her parents don't either. Negative, negative. Not P and not Q. Her friends care, but her parents don't. P and not Q. It is not the case that her friends and her parents care. Not the case. P and Q. Intentions don't matter, although actions do. Not P and Q. It is not the case that intentions and actions matter. Not the case, P and Q. Right. In the exam, there is answer a question where we give you, let's say, an argument and you are going to select, very simple, the appropriate, the best symbolic form, like that. But you can see for here, number 1 to number 5, you just have a look. You don't care what these variables stand for, just check for validity. You could pause the video for 10 minutes, and when you are ready, keep going. Okay, 10 minutes has passed so quickly. Now, number 1, then you can see not P, Q. The 3 dots, it means the conclusion, not P and Q. Right? Then we have the premises on the left, the conclusion on the right. Valid. We don't care for the first line. Because the theory says when all the premises are true, we have just one premise true, one premise true here, then they are not sufficient for checking, right? Number 2, not P, not Q, and not the case. We need, I say, P and Q, then we have the not the case P and Q. One more table for the premises on the left and the conclusion on the right. What you think now? Valid? Yes, valid. Number 3, not P and not Q, and not the case P and Q. Okay, valid. Number 4, not the case P and Q, and P, conclusion, not Q. You can see in this case, the conclusion, not Q, is on the left. It can be hard for you to see because in fact, we need to just we have to look back, right? And the column P and Q is not necessary when you analyze. Then we need a new table like this, to make it easy for you to see. Yeah, true, true, and true, valid. Number 5, not the case P and Q, not P, the conclusion is not Q. Not P, not the case P and Q, and not Q. What do you think? Look at the cases when all the premises are true. When you say it's valid, I guess you have to check again. Invalid is the answer. Yeah, so do you still have any problems with negations? There are still many exercises in the material. I need you to continue, with the material. And next time, we are going to focus on the, deeper analysis of conjunctions and negations. We are going to go to, let's say, arguments with 3 variables, not 2 anymore, 3 variables. Yeah, so if you have any questions, just contact me via the Facebook group, Yellow, or also Messenger. I'm very happy to help. Or you can even send me an email as well. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye. I'll see you in the next lesson.